Hello everyone and welcome to this week's video tutorial. This would be part number 25 from dubious positions and how to attack them. Again, I would like to express my thanks to Master Xiangqi and Grandmaster Xiangqi for allowing me to do this video. So without further ado, let us begin. Central cannon. Black chooses to push p7+1 before playing the greenhouse defense. And red countered with r2+6 so that black would not be given a chance to push the cannon forward. So this is a very proactive move. Now, when black plays p7+1, if red plays p7+1, black will usually can go for the left cannon blockade, and red's right flank will be blocked. So black can be satisfied with this situation. Greenhouse defense, and red chooses to develop his left horse as a edge horse in this situation. Now, this move is a little bit uncalled for because one very important factor, because red had not pushed his 7th pawn forward, and instead had developed his chariot. So this would not be an advisable move. A more reasonable move would be to play h7+6 for the river buying horse variation. Now, this is more of a move that has been made out of habit. So red will usually continue r2 equals 3. Black will continue with the usual tactical combination, but this was already anticipated by red, and that is why he played c equals to 7. Now this is a very powerful and targeted move because since the black cannon had retreated, this horse would now be left unprotected. So at this point in time, red would now traverse his cannon to the center file to take aim. Now the issue on the board now would be this chariot, because black would now try to launch a counter attack with c9 equals to 7. Now at this point in time, there are two major counters, as this would be the position of discussion for this board. The two major counters are a4+5 and h3 minus 5. Now in the first variation, a4+5 is played. Now, red would not back down. Instead, he'll play r9 equals to 8, which would result in faster development of his left flank. And this is done because the pawn had not advanced. r1 equals to 2. Red will start his attack. Black will try to dislodge the red chariot, and black will try to beef up his defense. Now, if he had played r8+5 to try to force a counter attack, red would push p3+1, threatening to sacrifice the pawn, threatening to attack the chariot. And he would now play h3+4, whereby this horse would now attack, also in this manner. e3+1 also dislodge the chariot. If it moved, h4+6. Red would have the advantage. So red tries to beef up his defense, and red will apply much more pressure with r8+6. Now this is a very powerful move in this situation. Now, what would happen if red chose to play p7+1 instead? Capture, move, offer trade-off chariots. Now, by offering a trade of chariots, the issue of this horse would now be resolved, and black would still be in contention. And with trading the chariots away, red's biggest threat will now be eliminated. So r8+6 would be a better move. Again, offering a trade of chariots, but of course now red would refuse. As can be seen, red would have two chariots across the river, one pawn also, a very stable formation. Black's formation, on the other hand, is quite in disarray. The cannons will still need some maneuvering to be a threat. Red will claim a huge advantage. Now let us go to variation B. h3 minus 5. Black retreats the horse to central position as he hopes to play c9 equals to 7. With the horse over here, this intersection will now be covered. So the aim, red would now, black's primary target would be to dislodge this chariot. He hopes to counter aggressively. But red would not have to fear and instead chose to play r9 equals to 8, which is a very good move in this situation. Red would try very aggressively to fight for the initiative. So now, what would happen if red played in very passively and tried to move his chariot out of harm's way? Black could beef up his defense, and red would have gained nothing for his efforts. The chariot would have moved too many times without gaining a major advantage. So, seeing that red played c9 equals r9 equals to 8, black immediately attacked the chariot, thinking that he would gain material. But this would not be so, because red would now deliver a check, offering a trade of material. And this move would save the red chariot and also apply a lot of pressure on black's flank. Now, what would happen if black was still intent on attacking the chariot? If this was so, black would, red would sacrifice the chariot to trade it for material. And another powerful move, threatening to checkmate with the double cannons, forcing the king up, a check, and Black will now retreat his chariot, preparing to checkmate again. Now, if c7 equals to 6 is better than c7 equals to 4. If c7 equals to 4, red would now threaten to capture the cannon. The cannon cannot move, or there will be a checkmate. If the black check cannot move, or to protect the cannon, or it will be captured by the red cannon, and again, red would have a winning position. So c7 equals to 6, a check, moving to safety, threatening to capture the cannon, and red will now be prepared to gain material. He will also have a winning position. So that is why black cannot move the central horse away. But if it did not, you can see that black's position was now very cramped. And because the elephant had moved, the red chariot would now be safe, and black's efforts would have come to naught. Trade again. This is a very experienced move. Red does not forget to defend. He refuses to give black any chance of trying to fight back. As can be seen, now red would have a huge advantage at this point. Once the pawn was able to charge across the river, the black horse will now be in trouble. It cannot move here because the chariot has covered this intersection. Neither can it move here because this chariot will have covered this intersection. So let's say black continued with r8 plus 5, r plus 5, black will lose material. If h5 plus 3, again attacking the horse, thinking that red would be able to the horse will be able to worm his way in, advance, not being afraid of h3 plus 4, sacrificing the pawn to capture the horse. So at this point in time, once this situation is reached, red would have an overwhelming advantage. Now the key issue for black losing is because he made this move. This would be the main reason, because red had not pushed and chose to develop his horse as an edge horse, offering a trade of chariots, going for the edge cannon for chariot exchange variation would not be feasible, and this can be seen in variation B. This would be the resulting position. Now, Now, in the book, the authors discuss this issue a lot. They mentioned that this is a very powerful but very useful tactical combination by Black, but it does not mean that it can be applied to all situations. And this particular situation happens to be one of those situations, so by doing so will actually be to Black's disadvantage. So sufficient understanding of the opening is required for this board. So let us review the entire board from the eyes of Black. Okay, central cannon, screen horse, and edge horse instead of p7+1, which is also considered to be orthodox. A mistake by Black. Pressure. Black tries to go for the same routine. Unfortunately, because p7+1 had not been played, Black will go for the 5-7 cannons. Variation A, a4+5, powerful move, attacking the horse, trying to dislodge the chariot, beefing up the defense, but in doing so, both the red chariots will now have crossed the river to attack. And red would now push 2 chariots and 1 pawn across the river and still be attacking. Huge advantage to red. Variation B. Black tries to cover this intersection with this horse, threatening to capture the chariot. Correct move. 3+1 would have been cowardly, dislodging the chariot, but red will now attack, deliver a check, forcing Black's hand. e3+5. h5+3 cannot happen because red will be more than happy to sacrifice the chariot, leading to a winning position over here. Playing h3+5, because of the check, the chariot will now be given a route to escape. Trade on material. Red does not forget to defend, takes his time. As can be seen, Black's position is congested, the horses are linked, but they have no good place for development. But if r8+5, the cannon is lost. If h5+3, after sacrificing the central pawn, the horse is lost. So either way, red would gain a huge advantage in this situation. So I hope you've enjoyed this short video. If you like the work that I've been doing, please do subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.